Who's ready for a cozy evening? Because I know I am. It's raining outside, but I've got a cup of tea and a hobbity game to explore. Welcome to Lotter Girl in a Lotter World, where I, a major Lord of the Rings fan, explores, enjoys, and generally appreciates Middle-earth and other Tolkien content. Now, I'm not generally one for playing games, but I just can't resist the chance to live in the Shire. So, tonight I will be getting started with Tales of the Shire by creating my very own Hobbit. Here it is, our very first glimpse of the Shire. For this next intro bit, I'm going to speed right through it. If you're curious in seeing it in more detail, feel free to do it yourself, but I want to know who that is. And more importantly, who that is. Wonder if we're going to get some interaction right away. Let's see. Oh, nope. On to character creation. I start with the choosing body shape. I did like all of the choices they have here. And naturally, because I am creating a hobbit, I want to make sure my hobbit looks like she's well-fed, enjoys a nice bite to eat. Though, because this is also a hobbit who has just been on a journey, have to make sure I reflect that as well. So after taking a bit of time, I wound up on this option here. Then we went through the expressions. I did have a peek at every single expression there is, and you really can give your hobbit a lot of personality, which is quite cool. After I had a look at each option, I did wind up going back through, and I decided to settle on a jolly hobbit, because who wouldn't love to live in the Shire? Next up, we've got the skin tone, and let me tell you, I did appreciate looking through and seeing all of the different options here. Though, in the end, I decided to go for a nice tan one, as though this is someone who's out all day, walking through fields. Next up is the hair. Of course, as a hobbit, I had to go for curly hair, so I made sure I looked all the way around, because it's no good if there's only curls in the front. We need curls in the back as well. And after analyzing the choices, I wound up on this final one here. I loved some of those ringlets that she has. Next up, eyebrows. I tried them all out, and I decided to go with the ones that I felt fit my jolly face the best. Then we're on to hair color, and after trying out all the options, I wound up settling on this sort of auburn one that they have as the natural one. Then we're on to faces, and in the faces, I wanted to have one that again reflected the well-fed nature of my hobbit, so here we are. Then the ears, got some nice subtly pointed ones there, and on to eyes. After going through the eye options, I just went for a simple one. And then on eye color, I decided to go for a green to go with that auburn hair. For noses, I looked through a couple of them and I decided on this one that's a little bit petite but still fits the face. It's time for the mouths. After going through the options, I decided to choose one where I believe she could burst into laughter any minute. And now for the most important part of all, the feet. Of course, as a hobbit, it has to have hairy feet, so I went through the options, then started debating about the different options here for which one would suit her the most. And after some careful evaluation, this is what I wound up with. So here we go, our final hobbit, ready to continue. And now, time for clothes. This first shirt I liked, nice, bright. And then we've got a nice fisherman one, pretty regular shirt. And then this one, I couldn't resist. It's such classic hobbit look. Next up, pants. I liked those. I did indeed. And then looking through, once I saw this skirt though, it matched too perfectly. Tested that last one just to be sure, but I went back to this very classic hobbity look. Of course, we have to have our cape, and let me tell you, my favorite part here, when she turns around, you can even see the dirt on the bottom of it. You can tell she's been traveling. Eyeglasses, really cool option to have, but I decided not for now. And then we're back at the front, so on to the next step, and it is names. Let me tell you, I love scrolling through these names, seeing a lot of really hobbity ones, but I did my research in advance. I looked through some alternative names for some common flowers, and I wound up on an alternative for lily, which is Maybell. This is also a nod, of course, to Tolkien's mother Mabel, because what would this be without an Easter egg? Then it's on to surnames, and I did have a fun look through all of them, some really classic hobbity ones from the books, though I did note not some of the more famous ones, for example, Gamgee or even Took. But after going through all of them, I am naturally not a hard-headed brace girdle from Hardbottle, so I decided to go with the classic Baggins disguise name, which is, of course, Underhill. So, Maybell Underhill is ready to begin her journey. Let's see what's next. And now, speeding through here, we get to finally see who that mystery figure is, and let me tell you my favorite detail is that ring right there. Great to see that bit of lore coming into place, even if this is so far a mysterious stranger to Maybell. I think we might have an idea who it is. After traveling all night, we're getting closer. Of course, if you want to see this in more detail, feel free. And that's my home. I wanted to see that. Now let's see what comes next. Are we going to actually get the reveal here that I've been hoping for? Maybe not. Oh, she asked the question we've all been waiting for. Made that comment right there. Let's see this introduction. Is he gonna? And he is! Of course it's Gandalf. And, who else would it be with that gray hat and that ring right there? Now, let's see. There's Maybell, and we're gonna see what's next. There is our new home in the Shire. Now I'm ready to play.